the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
You know, it's just 5 to 7, just bang, bang, bangs.
Coming up on the news at noon, the search for a suspect in a deadly late-night shooting, what police know at this point in the investigation. And later, mourning the massive loss of a DC doggy daycare, what local officials are doing to make sure that this doesn't happen again.
Well, in tranquil conditions, they continued through our Wednesday night, now spilling over into this Thursday. But could there be a couple of spotty showers and storms out there this afternoon? We'll have your forecast in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Damon. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the news at noon. I'm Mark Hall. Starting off with breaking news, DC police are on the scene of a shooting involving a police officer. It happened on the 7400 block of Georgia Avenue Northwest. Police are providing more information shortly. We'll be sure to give you any updates when they become available. And right now, police are searching for the suspect in the deadly shooting. 33-year-old Kevin Scott of DC was pronounced dead on the scene last night in Columbia Heights. Our Randy Bass explains what investigators know so far and tells us how neighbors are feeling this afternoon.
Yeah, that shooting happening right here at this busy intersection near the Columbia Heights Metro Station right around 9 o'clock last night. And seconds before those shots were fired, police actually drove through this intersection. They heard those shots from inside the car, turned around and started searching for anyone in need of help. Neighbors we talked to were down the street in their homes when it happened. They tell us they heard the whole thing.
I was just making dinner, and you know, there's a lot of noises. This summer's been a lot of fireworks, but I feel like it was definitely a more defined noise last night, and you know, it's just 5 to 7, just bang, bang, bangs.
One woman we talked to who didn't want to go on camera said she's lived here 30 years. She says this neighborhood feels left behind by the city and Mayor Bowser. She wants to see more police, more community events, and a greater presence from local leaders. Others say there's no one solution to the city's crime problem.
No, I don't think there is just one specific answer. I think if it was, you know, that simple something, it would have been solved.
I don't know what the answer is, but there's a lot of violence and pain in the city.
Today, the city's left searching for both solutions and the person who pulled the trigger. In Northwest, Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, Randy, thank you. And for what's next in the investigation, police say the area was crowded Wednesday night and someone had to see or hear something. If you have any information, you're asked to get in touch with DC Police. We're taking a live look outside this afternoon. Things look bright and sunny right now, but some people in our region could see showers later today. Meteorologist Damon Matson joined us latest check on the forecast. Damon, how are things looking?
Well, Mark, not too bad. The live shot just speaks volumes right there. We are enjoying a good bit of sunshine mixed with some clouds to get into the start of the early afternoon. And looking back to earlier this morning, our overnight low temperatures, as we saw a mostly clear sky and quiet conditions, well, they didn't necessarily cool off as much as you would have expected. We did get down into the low 60s across the Shenandoah Valley into the Allegheny Highlands, but look back to the east. Low temperatures were still mild in the mid 60s to lower 70s in and around DC, parts of southern Maryland. And the reason the air stayed so mild last night, there was a change in the wind direction that is continuing out there today. We have winds coming directly out of the south, a little breezy at times, up to 15 miles an hour. And that's what's helping to bump up our temperatures and raise those humidity levels once again, at least in the short term. Now, it's quiet on the satellite and radar picture for the most part, but I want to point out this cloud cover that is over toward the eastern shore. No rain to speak of yet, but that is being caused by the same frontal boundary that has been sitting near us just off to the east for the last few days. It's retreating back to the west a little bit here, and look at the rainfall just off the Atlantic coastline there. Some of that is going to work its way back into the DMV and could produce some spotty showers for southern Maryland over toward DC later this afternoon and evening. And not only that, there's another cold front to our north and west that we're keeping a close eye on. So the first of those frontal boundaries, it will have the chance to spark up some spotty showers and maybe even a storm or two beginning in the mid-afternoon, lasting through the early evening, again mainly east of I-95 before we catch a little bit of dry weather again. again toward the end of the day. But that cold front to our north, who could see some rainfall and storms from that? We'll talk about that and more coming up in your full forecast here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. And happening tonight, the Eckington Dog Park is hosting a candlelight vigil at Althea Tanner Park. Now, the event is being held to honor the 10 dogs that drowned at a doggy daycare during a major flooding in Northeast earlier this week. The vigil set to begin at 8 p.m. The park is on Harry Thomas Way in Northeast D.C. And the tragedy came as D.C. Water works to mitigate flooding in that area on Rhode Island Avenue. Our Daniel Hamburg spoke with D.C. Water as they weigh in on what happened.
The issue goes beyond just the drains that you see here. A D.C. Water spokesperson says the water receded actually pretty quickly, which tells them that these drains were functioning properly. It's the area right under this Metro overpass that acts as a bowl where stormwater comes in from multiple directions. 2 inches of water fell in just 45 minutes, creating a pool here several feet deep on Rhode Island Avenue, trapping dozens of dogs inside.
It didn't seem real. It felt like a nightmare.
Jocelyn Lobos Segura lost her dog Mona. She blames the owner of District Dogs for not having a plan and DC Water for not having the Northeast Boundary Tunnel ready.
Of course, our dogs were in danger, but there were also lives there that were also placed in danger, and they failed us all.
What happened is there was a sewage backup in the pipes. The tunnel is being built right under Rhode Island Avenue. DC Water says the project has been underway for 5 or 6 years, and it's actually 2 years ahead of schedule, expected to open by the end of September. DC Water thought it might be able to open it in March, but we're told labor and supply chain issues pushed it back. It will add 90 million gallons of storage designed for a 15-year storm. But spokesperson John Lyle says what we saw Monday night was far beyond that.
The sewer system could still back up. The tunnel, once it's in operation, could still fill to capacity. And if that happens, you're still going to get some flooding. What we hope is that the flooding will not be as severe.
Now, DC Water and the district government, 2 separate entities, are working together to see if there are any solutions. A DC Water spokesperson tells me, however, he doesn't see anything short-term that can be done before that tunnel is ready. However, dog owners who lost their pets during this flood say more should have been done earlier. In Northeast, Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Daniel, thank you. Well, D.C.'s government is once again the target of congressional interference. Lawmakers want to get rid of the local government with a bill to scrap D.C. home rule. It follows a push from Republicans to repeal D.C.'s revised criminal and police accountability law. Tennessee Representative Andy Ogles is pushing a bill to repeal the D.C. Home Rule Act. And that law was established back in 1976. It created a district council elected by D.C. residents. The council can pass legislation, but Congress must approve it. Meantime, some people living in the district say the move by Congress is not about curbing crime, but taking power from local leaders.
A D.C. runs by Congress looks like a plantation, quite honestly, because this is a majority brown and black city. And what I see is a bunch of non-minority leadership trying to dictate. This was never about crime. It's always about power.
The district's delegate to the House of Representatives, Eleanor Holmes Norton, also responded to the Republican proposal. She spoke out against the bill, saying in a statement repealing the Home Rule Act would be undemocratic as abolishing Nashville's government, the city Ogles represents.
So let's work together to build together a strong contract for all USM employees, and especially here at College Park. Thank you and bless you all.
And happening now, union workers at the University of Maryland and College Park are asking for higher wages and more manageable workload. The group walked off the job yesterday, and the union has called the university, quote, downright disrespectful. They say that some workers have had to work without air conditioning and have been exposed to mold. Our team reached out to the university for comment, and we had not heard back. Other workers in Southwest D.C. also walked off the job. Custodians at the Constitution Center rallied yesterday after filing federal labor charges against their employer. They are accusing Quality Building Maintenance of illegally firing and harassing workers over their immigration status. The workers claim that this happened after they tried to organize a union. Workers are also alleging that QBM makes it difficult to take water or bathroom breaks. The workers say they do have legal work status. We reached out to QBM. So far, we haven't received a response. We have a special report this afternoon as students in the DMV prepare to head back to class. With the new year comes lots of anxiety, and our national network News Nation spoke with experts about how this anxiety can impact kids and what parents can do about it.
For most kids, back-to-school jitters can be chalked up to a new school or worrying about making new friends, even separation anxiety. And the jitters end pretty quickly. But for some children, the anxiety can be debilitating. Some of the symptoms include repeated episodes of sudden, unexpected, intense fear that come with symptoms like heart pounding, having trouble breathing, or feeling dizzy, shaky, or sweaty.
Our brain is telling us that there is something unsafe going on. So similar if we were sitting in a room and there was a lion and our heart rate starts to elevate, our breathing becomes more shallow. So sometimes then our brain applies that to situations where safety really isn't an issue.
And according to Mental Health First, 1 in 5 youth will experience a mental health challenge at some point in their life. 17 million youth under the age of 18 have or have had a psychiatric disorder. And every year, more than 7% of kids have a mental health visit. But what can you do? According to experts, help starts by talking to your kids. Find out what's wrong and validate what they are experiencing. Because in their mind, the fear is real.
Actually, 1 in 4 kids right now are diagnosed with some type of anxiety or depression. The needs have really gone up as far as mental health needs.
Well, those experts had some advice for parents to help kids with back-to-school anxiety. Talk to the teacher. They're the expert in the classroom, and they can often look out for your child during the day. Encourage your children to hang out with friends before school starts, and set up play dates so they get more comfortable with other kids. And finally, make sure they actually go to class and face their fears.